All right, welcome to our weekly Thursday live stream Q&A. This is the comic book ASM artist, and this is a non-ASMR stream where we just hang out and talk about comics and all that good stuff. So, hey Keem, congrats on your 100 subscribers you just got. It's pretty awesome. I still didn't watch your Batman cooking video you did though, but I definitely want to. I'll probably check that out after the stream, possibly. So, but I saw it pop up and I was in the middle of doing something whenever it came up in my feed, but haven't forgotten about it. But so. It's all good. Who can say every video we ever make on YouTube is is really good? Some of them aren't so great. So, but I'm just lucky enough that I have the subject of comics to kind of cushion mine. I'm a semi-entertaining person, but the comics help. So, and that's the reason most of you are here is for the comic book content. So what have you been up to? Start Dungeons and Dragons today. Interesting. Nice. That's awesome. I did a Dungeons and Dragons campaign a couple years ago. I might actually still have my character card in the front of my drawer here. Yes, here it is. And I'm not steeped on the lore really. This was like an auto-popped character that I named that my friend made. I just put a name to it and acted accordingly in character. His name was Baranuk, and his backstory is he lost too many friends and he's slow to make new ones. He's haunted by images of war. He can't get images of violence out of his head. That's his personality. But his backstory he had where his family got killed. Here we go. I think this is it here. You were raised in a mole master by your human mother as your married father wandered off during your infancy. Growing up, you had trouble fitting in due to your strange appearance. So he's like a half fish person. So you often spent time alone at the beach or harbor. Upon adulthood, you were volunteered to join the Mole Master Navy. You disliked the authoritarian command structure, but found your calling as a ship's chaplain, ministering to the wounds of the crew as well as counseling them regarding the trials of battle and sea. One night, your ship was set ablaze and quickly sank in the middle of Moonsea. You survived only due to your Genasi racial abilities. The entire rest of his crew perished. Investigating the wreckage, you found that the fires had been set by devices bearing the symbol of the cult of the Eternal Flame. Hello, William. Just reading off an old character from a D&D campaign I did a while back. Kima's doing one. Oh, nice. It says, you've now taken to adventuring and seek to avenge your death of your crew. And I hadn't gotten very far. I did like maybe a couple campaigns. I'm either like a level 1 or 2 or something like that, but it was fun. The guy who got me into it, he's pretty well steeped in tabletop stuff, and he's one of the big PAX coordinators. He goes by Pedro Asani, and yeah, he goes to all of them, and he's pretty well involved. And if you haven't watched it, the Penny Arcade just started a new thing called the Magic Hour. It's where they play Magic the Gathering, but the first video is only 13 minutes. But the place they're playing it in, it's like a secret room in it's like a gaming bar, and it's called Mox. So I've actually been in that same room that they're playing in. So it was pretty cool to see that on the screen and be like, oh hey, we've been here and done this, and that's where I did the D&D, was there at Mox. So. But that's what I love is whenever I see stuff, especially like posted from them, because I can like retread and be like, oh, I've actually been to this place and no, I've actually sat where they're sitting, so it's pretty cool. Keem says, got any Spider-Man suits? I have almost most of them. The later ones, I don't have, like, I can visibly see them, but I can't purchase them yet in the game. But I've gotten, there's like maybe 3 left that aren't revealed yet. But I have, I'd say over half of the suits in the game. So, and I've got the game at 80% complete right now, and I think all of the goals have opened up on the map now. And I think I'm at what you would consider like the 3rd act of the game. So stuff is really heated up. So let's see here. Making sure I didn't miss anything here. Have you started on your book at all, Keem, or is that a long, long way down the road? I know you said you're focusing on school and all that a lot, so. So he'll get back to me on that one. It's all good. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be payday for me, so you're going to get another comic haul video. So that'll be cool. I did get some cool books on Tuesday too that can't talk about now. I don't want to spoil them, but I'm happy I found them. So I didn't know they were they were things that I wasn't aware of that I uncovered at the half price books. So pretty cool stuff that I can't wait to share with you guys. So a nice train going by. I don't know if you can hear that, but me and the trains fight a lot over here. Will there be a sound finale? Possibly. We'll see. The thing I often struggle with is with my microphone. Like I use this headset thing for the past couple videos I've done, but I know it's not like really good, but it picks up like the sounds really good. It picks up my voice okay, but I get a better vocal quality, I think, on my regular mic, which is this guy right here. And this is a Rode like portable shotgun. It's called like the Video Mic Me. Really good sound. The only bummer with this, you can't put it on during live streams because there's like interference from like the Wi-Fi signal that makes it sound like I call it a digital horse gallop, where it's like doot, 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 doot. So, and then sometimes you'll get like a staticky, like a sort of thing that'll just randomly go through the video. And if you listen to some of my earlier videos, I wasn't aware of that problem. So like the first Ninja Turtles reading on the IDW one, like that one in the middle, just out of nowhere, you hear a little bit of it. So that's why I don't use this during live streams. But then too, it thank you, William. But whenever I am doing my readings and stuff, I'll usually just point this right at me. But if I want to highlight the sounds of like the crinkling of the pages or like the bags and stuff like that, I'll point it down this way, like, you know, towards the bed where I have all my books and bags and stuff like that. So, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll have it pointed, but then I'll lean in, and so that's it. So it doesn't sound as good audibly for my voice, but then it picks up the sounds of the objects perfect. So that's what I'm dealing with, is trying to pick and choose what I really want to highlight on. And like I said, I like this really well for picking up the audio for the bags and stuff, and it sounds good here. But I definitely enjoy the vocal quality better on this. But like I said, it's I really like the sounds as far as everything else getting picked up on here. So kind of juggling between them right now. And pertaining to like I think you said Blue Yeti or Snowball, the Blue Snowball. Oh, that's what you use. Okay. My thing, like I have like a couple wired devices like attached to the side of my I don't know what you want to call this. It's not really a traditional drawer set or anything like that, but I have like wires like hanging out from the shelf that have like these giant rigs mounted to them they're just sitting in cloth baskets. And so I can't have like one of those really nice mics stuck in there because, those are several $100s type of thing. And plus it's awkward too, so I'm not setting it like on a table. It's being suspended in the air. So I don't want to deal with having a microphone suspended in the middle of the air by my bedside here and having it get knocked over. So that's why it's just easier for me to use this clip-on one, and then this has the nice little windsock on it too. So, but I was annoyed because I tried to, when I did my Ace Comic Con video, I was trying to do some video on the go with it, and all the audio was garbage for some reason. I don't know why. And I've seen other people do vlogs where they've, did what I did, but their audio is perfect, and they're just like, oh, I used like this, and then I used, some of the footage from your phone or whatever. But for mine, it was all garbage, so I had to scrap that and go with 100% like just, images with video stuff. So I don't know. I do the best I can, My wife is setting up a new home. They do some live drawing videos here. That's awesome, William. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully soon I'll be doing some too. I don't want to spoil too much stuff. As the book for the bull #1 gets into your guys' hands, then you'll start seeing more footage with the bull actually on the channel more. Because, like I said, I really want to have the big reveal, mean something to you guys, not what you've seen, him 100 times by the end of the book. But once you guys get your books, then I don't know, maybe mid-October or so, I might start showing more stuff on here and on Instagram and my Facebook and all of that, and just really pumping it in there. I don't want to burn you guys out on them, but I know it's fun to be part of the creative process as well. But the main thing, like I said, I didn't want to spoil that reveal for you guys, and the first issue's lead up is to that. So let me look here. And then I am, next week, Heroes in Crisis. You're correct, Keem. I believe it is next week as well. I thought it was next month, but I think you're right. It is the last week of this month. So apparently that Batman cursed book, which is, you know what it's called. Apparently that book, it is being recalled from any shops. So any shop that sells it right now is going to be fined for the outrage over Bruce Wayne's privates, even though have shadow on them, having the highlights where you can see part of the flesh of his privates. Because of that, I guess enough people were outraged by it. So even though it's a mature book, which should be okay, it's mature, there was enough outrage by it that DC said, okay, we're going to recall them and fix that in the future prints. So I'm not sure if even when I go tomorrow to my shop, if they're going to sell me a copy of that book, because like I said, if that's being sold, that company could get fined for selling it. So yeah, the Black Label one. So bogus for everyone like me who had to wait till payday when everyone else picked it up on Wednesday, no problem. But I don't know if it happened around noon today or something, but I know it happened today. Emails went out to shops that said, we're recalling these books for this reason. If you sell them, you may get fined. So, and I don't know if it's like several hundred per selling or just like in general. So, but I'm pretty sure any shop doesn't want to mess with that. So my copy might be a delayed version that is a censored version of that book. So we'll see what happens. So, but then I was contemplating, just like, well, maybe I could run in today, but I'm just like, nah, if I pay with like a credit card type of thing, you can't have like the receipt and all that. Like some shops might try to do it under the table sort of thing with like just hard cash, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a retailer or anything, but I'm sure it's something most shops don't want to have the headache of dealing with, selling a $7 book and having to pay a $250 fine. Well, already have it set aside for me, William, but basically the email says, hey, if you sell this book after today, you will be fined. So, like, that doesn't matter if it's a pull list customer or if it's someone walking in the shop. Like, there's been outrage about the book. So DC's trying to rectify it by taking all the copies they can and destroying those and presenting everyone with a censored copy of the book. So, yeah, exactly. It's black label, but I don't know. It doesn't have a big M written on the front of the book. It has that black label, but, it's one of those things like it is a mature book, but enough people complained about it that they're doing what they do. They're recalling it. So I'm actually surprised that stuck. There's been instances in the past, especially like with the Watchmen book, which is like #1 best-selling graphic novel of all time. Like that definitely had nudity and stuff in it, but the fact that the main thing I guess is that since it's Batman, is where it's hard to be like, yeah, it's mature. Like Batman is a huge household name, and to ignore that, I think would be foolish. So I think that's the major reason for the outrage. So, but I understand their decision, and like I said, I might not be able to get mine, but I get why they did it. I appreciate them trying to be somewhat respectful and things like that, even though there's other things they're not on, but I get why they're doing it more or less. Did you pick up your books already, Keem? I thought you said you were taking a break from them, I think, right? Or maybe you're picking them up, but you're not reading them right now. I don't even know. I'm still behind on everything else. I even tried to bring some for my bus ride. Oh, you get yours on Comixology. Well, that's cool. I wish they were a little bit cheaper on Comixology, Joe. I think that's the most annoying thing to me. It's digital. Like, who are we trying to kid? Like you could at least make it like $1 cheaper. But it's like the same cover price, which I understand because you're paying your writers and artists and all of that, and you're operating on a certain system there. But pardon, I don't know. I think it's something that if it's digital, they could cut you a break on it, I think. But yeah, I try to bring I still have like all my previous Marvel books and stuff. Like I was gonna bring those and read them on the bus, and then it just never happened. And then I'm still behind on all of my like DC Age of Heroes books. I don't know. I can't really explain it. It's weird. And I mean and I haven't been like binging on Spider-Man game either. Like, I've taken lulls in it there, and actually my kid is also playing it too. So I split it where it's like I play it for a pretty long while, but then I'll pass it off to him, but I don't want him spoiling the game for me. So then once he gets to the point where I am in the game, then he has to not do any more story until I have progressed further in the game, because I don't want to have the game spoiled by my kids. So, and like the game system and the TV and all that is in my bedroom here, so it's not like it's in the living room or anything like that. So it's literally right in my space. So, oh, nice. That's cool. Nice to have a teacher who's in the comics. I had a few people in the past who were pretty cool with the whole comic book thing. Not all of them, but a few. I think my biggest regret was I made like this big, huge reproduction of the Captain America annual from, I think it was 2002, with Prismacolor pencils that took like forever to do. And the teacher just left it on display in their classroom, and then I, never saw it again. And it was one of my favorite pieces I'd ever done. So So that's one of those things. Like I wish I had that particular piece. That's really the main one I miss. I think because I spent so much time on it, and the fact that it was like a Captain America piece and stuff like that. And then another one I really enjoyed too was another cover copy. I think it was the Adam Kubert's Captain America number. It's either 9 or 10. I can't remember. It was the American Nightmare storyline, the issue where he fights the Rhino in it. Where on the cover it debuts the laser shield on it, where it's charging forward, but it has like the glowing shield on there. And I did a reproduction of that image on a large poster, and instead of the laser shield, I just put a normal shield on it, and I did it for a book report. There was a Captain America book that I read. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it was called Liberty's Torch or something like that, 100 or 300 pages. But it's a pretty thick book, and it was something I'd never seen before. I was like, ooh, it's a regular chapter book, but it's about a comic book hero. So I thought it was pretty cool. So. And I don't think it was a story that was ever in the comics. It was nothing I recall, and I've read every single Captain America story from the very beginning all the way to now. So when I read it, I don't remember that taking place in the comics. So I think it was a self-contained novel, and it was more or less about Captain America like fighting a hate group. And I remember like part of Harlem was on fire and stuff because there's a chapter called Hell Up in Harlem. But I don't remember if that was in the comics or not, but I don't think it was. But I remember it was really good and I enjoyed it. And it had like a cameo from the Falcon and stuff in it too. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's always nice when school has a big selection. When I was a kid, like the main stuff, and I do have the Captain America one, they put out like these little library, like they're like treasuries or something for little kids where they would have like a write-up on like the basic origins of the superhero, but then they would reprint like a couple of the classic stories. So I have like the Captain America one. It's like this, got a painted cover on it, and then like the rest of the book is more or less has like it's a hardback and it's like yellow all over it. And I'll show it off in a future video, and then it reprints like Jack Kirby's story of Cap fighting the Red Skull with the Cosmic Cube, and then it shows one of the parts of the John Byrne story where he drew Captain America, and I think there's another part in there too. But so I have that, and they released them for like Fantastic Four, Hulk, and Spider-Man, and maybe a couple others. But so my library had those, and then they had just like a ton of like Garfield treasuries. So. But, anytime I saw anything like that, of course, I always just jumped at the chance to wanna get it. So, and even now, like, I still have a huge place in my heart for like comic strips and stuff like that, even though, a lot of people don't consider like comic strips on the same par as like comic books. Like, I think there's enough crossover for me that I enjoy both of them. So I always aspire to get like the big books that collect like all the Charlie Brown Peanuts comics and like even Garfield and stuff, because like those I really enjoyed, even though they're a different written form of sequential entertainment. They're still sequential entertainment, and they definitely inspired me to draw and want to do what I'm doing now with it. So. And yeah, like I said, it's always a process, and I look at those early days of Charlie Brown and Garfield and in anything, even Batman, Superman, their starts, like the characters now look way, way, way more polished than they were in the beginning. So for me, it's like I'm just like, well, in the beginning, Garfield looked way different than he looks now. So it's like, if Garfield can look that different from how he looks now, then I'm okay putting out my stuff now and having my style get better as I go on. So that's my form of inspiration to help encourage me. So I think I just saw your comment about the Henry Cavill thing there. Let's see. Yeah, is it official? Like, I keep hearing and he's on, he's off. It's not. So either way, I mean, he was an okay Superman, and same thing with Ben Affleck. Like, they were okay to me, but like, I don't know, like, it's hard to really feel one way or the other. I don't think that we had the characters long enough to be really invested as them in those roles, you know. So I think that's where I am with it. I'd love to see them do more. Um, it's I mean, I would like to see them at least in a couple more movies, but I understand them trying to move in a different direction and, try to repair things. So, and then they just revealed some of the images for Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and that's interesting. They just showed him, looking like a normal dude. So, after Flashpoint movie would be a lot better. Yeah, and I think you're right on there. I just think, they've seen so much success from what Marvel's done that they're just frustrated. They don't understand why what they're doing isn't working, and they're trying, and they're trying to be a different option in the room whenever they were going with that more serious tone. Marvel movies are looked at as more comedic than they are serious, so they're trying to provide that option, and then they tried to bring some levity to it whenever they brought in old Joss Whedon and all that, and I don't know. It's hard to gauge, but I mean, I hope they figure it out. I mean, at the end of the day, I love superheroes. I love superhero movies, so I'm not too picky about them. Like, I'll pretty much watch any of them. So I look forward to whatever comes out, and yeah, I hope that they have success. I would love to see a long-standing, like, another grand sweeping, like, trilogy type of thing. If we can do that, that'd be great. So, but I mean, even people are like making fun of, like, the last Batman movie when Christian Bale was Batman too. They were making fun of the whole Bane thing and all that as well. So it is understandable. Like, you can't please everyone. So it's hard to gauge. But it's all right. Yeah, for me, I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I mean, it's really I'm not picky, but like there's a ton of stuff I still enjoy that, the consensus across the board is usually it gets ridiculed now because we are so advanced from where we were. And to this day, like, Spider-Man 2 is still one of my favorite Spider-Mans, or one of my favorite superhero movies in general. And even like Tim Burton Batman, like, I still love that, even though people always tear it apart and say, oh, it wasn't really a good Batman movie. It was more a Joker movie with Batman in it, stuff like that. So I can understand that. But what can you do, right? And yeah, so I guess we'll just continue to see what happens on the comics landscape and with all the movies and everything, and just kind of see where it all goes. I'm really curious to see the direction that all of the DC Age of Heroes stuff goes in. If we will see these guys take shape in more of the DC universe or not. And like they said, they introduced a lot of them in Dark Knight's Metal, and then they just kind of, did their own thing. I would say at this point, probably their most successful comic out of the DC Age of Hero line has been the Silencer, I would say. Because she's already started to cross over. They had, like, her interacting with Batman in her annual. And then she was in a recent issue of Nightwing as well. So we've seen that, and then I think it's issue number 12 of Damage is going to have Superman in it. So I would say at this point, I would say that Damage will stick around. I'll say that Silencer will stick around, and I would say that Sideways will stick around with the possibility of the Terrifics, just because they have so much random things going for them, with the interdimensional Fantastic Four vibe, and I don't think we really see enough of that in the DC universe. So I would say those titles, or at least those heroes, will find their footing in one way or another in the DC universe. But Brimstone hasn't really garnered much attention. Immortal Men is canceled after issue 6, I believe. The Unexpected, I don't really understand what's going on with that right now. And then Challengers is a mini-series. I think I've covered everything, though, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Although it feels like there's more of them. I don't know why, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm behind on all those guys. I still have, like, some of them I have like 2 or 3 of each of their things to read still, but that's alright. Hopefully I'll knock them out this weekend, maybe. We'll see. And then starting to plot issue number 2 of The Bull, so that's going on. And then I keep contemplating. I finally charged up my Surface again. It's been buried under everything, so ooh, what is that? I had a shell on there. So hopefully I'll be doing some, I don't know how much digital stuff I'll be doing, but I need to, start playing with this some more and trying to learn the drawing programs that I have on there, and keep going and try to get the next Bull out, in half the time that I got this one out. So, and I did order them. They're still not here yet, but they're at the stage they're in. On my email it said they're in production, so which is fine because I had to wait for the backing boards that I ordered. The first ones I ordered were and I just typed in cardboard backing boards, and we're talking all of the books they're gonna come like polybagged in board like the regular book, but then they have another piece of cardboard to reinforce and protect the book. So the ones I ordered the first time, and I thought they were okay, but when they came, the cardboard for the comic was actually thicker than the extra protective layer of cardboard that I had ordered. It was two grades above regular paper stock. So I'm just well, this is worthless. And I was lucky enough that I was able to return it and get a refund on it. And then I found the thicker boards that a buddy of mine, Chris Tomasma, he sent me his Clarity Girl #1, and I loved how it was packaged, so I wanted to emulate that. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, what did you use? And he's like, well, I just, went on eBay and found what I used. So I tried that and it didn't work, but then I found the thicker cardboard stock to use to protect the book. So that finally came in today, and wherever it came from was just from some random place that doesn't fulfill it in 2 days. So I had to wait 7 days to receive this big slab of cardboard. So hi, Blue Jay. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. There's Violet. It says hi. And yeah, so I'm just waiting on product, and then I'm working on getting the shirts made. I think I had maybe 9 t-shirt orders. Oh, that's okay, Blue Jay. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Take care, okay? But I ordered 9 of those t-shirts, so, and nice. Okay, chill. And so all the t-shirts will have the Bull logo on them. So, and right now I am trying to figure out who to go with to use for my shirts. So, and we want to do a local person for the first run of them, but in the future we're just gonna source through an online company. Violet, go out there. Go on. So that's where we're at right now. So because I don't want to have to like whenever it's just the online stuff, like it just ships from the site to the people. Like there's no middleman of me. But for the campaign orders, I want to ship everything out together. So to do that, I need to have the T-shirts in hand, or I could have a little memo where I say, hey, the T-shirt's on the way or whatever. But I would like to have everything together. Yeah, for the bowl. That's right, Keem. And Indiegogo is still live. If you want to get anything, it's still up. I don't know for how long it'll be up. If there's no activity, then the store closes on it. So right now I've stalled out at what am I? 1,265. I would love to push it to 2,000 so we can give out 5 copies of that bowl image that Gary Shipman drew a while back. So, and then one of you would get a full head sketch colored drawing by me of the bowl as well, that we would do a raffle of. So, but we're at 1,265 right now. So, obviously I want to hope that we at least reach that 2,000, and so I can get you guys those cool prints. So, but we'll see what happens. So. But my kid's trying to bug me. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Hi, Mango. I don't know if you heard me. My mic was muted. My kid was harassing me. So this isn't a stream for the kids. So I don't want her in here, barraging your ears with loud whatever she does. So she's a cute kid, but that's not what the stream is about. So this isn't Ryan's toy review. So Violet, go on. Yeah, have any of you guys gotten your books yet, or are you still waiting to get your books? Mango, have you got anything new at all? Telling everyone earlier about that recalled Batman Black Label book, so I don't know if you're able to get yours in time or not before they all take them back to, I don't know, to wherever they go and destroy them all. So, oh yeah, I guess the new the big Walmart book came out. Oh, that's fine. Every now and then it's good to make fun of Batman, so I do love him, but it's always fun. I love the I don't know if you've seen, what is it, Bat Metal or whatever. It's like this death metal band that does like these music videos where they're all animated for Batman. They're pretty ridiculous. Yeah, because of the full frontal they showed. Well, technically it wasn't. I mean, it had shadow over it, but since part of it didn't have shadow on it, that is why the recall is happening, Mango. DC issued a recall today. They emailed the retailers and said, "Hey, if you're caught selling this book, you will be fined. I don't know how many $100s, but I think it was like 250 or something. But I don't know if it was per book or just for selling in general. So I don't know how many shops are going to be trying to play around with that and fly it under the radar. But I do know that they issued that email today, and they were instructed, any copy. It didn't matter if you were like a pull list customer or someone in off the street selling any copies at all, since they contain something that they want to erase from the history books. They are, saying, hey, it's going to be off the table, and you'll be fined if you mess with it. So. Yeah, that's and people are already trying to resell it right now, so. Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess they can. I mean, there'll be receipts and stuff, and I'm sure, everyone does inventory on their stuff, so I'm sure they'll know who gets it and who doesn't, so, but the main thing, I don't know if they might already, they might, I don't know. Shops are weird, but I don't know how many are going to try to, play chicken with DC on that one, so I would doubt. Very few shops that would be like, no, and sell it because, to make profit off a $7 book as opposed to, paying $250 for selling the book. It's, common sense. They're not going to sell something that's going to cost them all that money. You think so? Go in there tomorrow, Keem. See. See what happens. I mean, I'll go into mine tomorrow and I'll see what'll happen. So, but I'm just like, because it's payday for me tomorrow. So I literally had to wait until tomorrow to get my copy. So I'm just like, oh man. But it's a mature book. So I just, I appreciate them listening to customer concerns and all that. But it was a mature book. So, okay, Keem. You let me know. I'll be very curious actually. Just don't say which shop it is. We don't want to get them in trouble if they do. But yeah, everything's going good. Like I said, I'm behind on all my books, but it's okay. I'm doing other things. I'm taking care of stuff around the house. I'm having family time, all that good stuff. Playing the Spider-Man game a little bit. I'm 80% in now, and I think I've reached like the third act of the game. Stuff has gotten really intense. So yeah, Mango, you're another digital one too. So Keem also said he does Comixology for his. So that's pretty cool. And I mean, I definitely think there's a digital market. Like, I'm old school. I like to tangibly hold the book in my hands and all that. And, once you have, I'm very low on space right now. I've got maybe like 11 short boxes or something like that. And that was just stuff that I've only acquired since I moved here because everything else got stolen before I moved here. So, considering this is only 6 years worth of comics and I've got 11 short boxes filled, that's pretty insane. So, and most of them are like brand new books. So, and I've sold a couple of them too. I sold off like all of my Marvel stuff when they did their all new, all different. Like I just Craigslisted all of my books and I got like maybe $1,000 for them or something like that. So. But it's okay. But for paper and space, yeah, the space I think is the hugest part for me. But I like being able to, pull a book out and say, "Hey, let me look at this." I'm curious about the new DC. What is it? DC Unlimited, or I don't know what it's called, DC Universe or something like that. I know it has like excerpts of like some of the popular stories. It doesn't even have like the full runs. I think it has like the first issue of Superman All Star and things like that. So I think it's weird that they're just like, it's more or less like a digital ad to go buy the full thing. So yeah, I like my trades too. But But I love like the whole concept with the Marvel Unlimited is perfect, and I guess the only qualm there would be like if they pushed up the you can read everything up to I believe it's 6 months archived. So, but if they bumped it up to maybe 3 months, would be pretty cool. But yeah, I think that might just be too close for them, because 6 months still might be long enough for some people to consider picking up a trade or like the physical copy of a book instead of just doing the 100% digital, because there's definitely still the overlap of selling physical copies with the digital and all that. So, and I mean, even for the bowl later down the line, I will do digital as well. But for the first bit, the major bit is to reward people who want to get in on the ground floor and support me. So, obviously they're going to get a first crack at the story. So I also have There's a Kickstarter a while back called Project Zero by Carl Keisel and Tom Grummett and a few others, I believed, that I funded, and I just got like the digital file of it, but the physical copy of the book still hasn't shipped to my house yet. So I'm wondering where that book is at, and hopefully it'll be here soon. So, but I really loved like the '90s Superboy, with the leather jacket and all that, and they were responsible for that character in those books. So I really liked that run. So I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll kickstart their project. So. Oh yeah, and that was the case for me too, Mango. When I was in Missouri, like it was like a 2-hour drive to a comic shop. So I actually did Marvel's mailed subscriptions, which sometimes you would get the books like a month and a half after they had come out, but they were really cheap. They were maybe like $2 a piece or something like that. So that was pretty cool and pretty affordable. But yeah, I wasn't able to collect any of that, and like that's why all of my original, like the first bit of my Ninja Turtles collection is all just the trades for the IDW, because I didn't have a shop around, so I wasn't able to go into a shop and pick up any of those books. And I as soon as we moved up here, I hopped on that and I started a pull list for it. But so wish they still did that. They do, to my understanding, Mango. If you go on their website, if you just go marvel.com, I believe, you can find them there. And they've even started to do it for some of like their event books and stuff as well. So I believe that's the case, because I have a friend right now, even like kind of locally in the area, who he's actually getting books mailed to him. I think he's getting Wolverine and Deadpool, and yeah, that's currently going for him. That's how he's getting them. So, and DC, I know, did in the past. I don't know if they still do or not, but that's how I was getting my Young Justice comics. I was subscribed to that series. I got, I think it was like from issues 5 all the way through the end of the series from the mail. And then there was one where a copy of the book got lost in the mail, and then they sent me like an apology letter with another copy of the book. So yeah, check those out. Go on their websites, buddy, and they should be up there. Like I said, I know 100% that Marvel does, and sometimes they'll even bundle. If you get multiple titles, you'll save like an additional 20 on top of whatever, like if you get all the Avengers books or all the X-Men books or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool, so check it out. But it's one of those things, like it's a secret at this point, because back in the day it was just like common knowledge. You would pick up your regular printed book, and I'm sure you guys remember, like there were always just ads. You're like, oh, $12 gets you a full year of Batman or Superman, and you had like your little check box, and then you could clip it off, which no one did. They ran a photocopy and then mailed it off. But yeah, and then they would give you like a gift. I got like a little DC dry erase board that had like Batman and Superman, and had magnets on the back, and you could slap it on your fridge and draw and put notes and stuff on it. But they would always have like a little incentive like that. I missed here you go. Flynn has like 15 comic shops. That's cool. Yeah, where I'm at, we've got quite a few of them. So the fact that now I have 2 shops that are considered convenient for me, I love that. So, and to have them so close, I'm just overjoyed by it. So nice. You subscribed to Batman when you were a teenager. That's cool. Yeah, Young Justice was the only one I did when I was a teenager. And there was local comic shops, but I don't know what it was about that book. I think it was hard to find or something, and I don't remember what it was, but I know that it was definitely popular. But I don't know. It had like a cult following attached to it. So I always recommend that. It's Peter David and Todd Knox run of Young Justice. They did some later iterations with it, and a lot of people love the cartoon and stuff, but I really loved the original run of that series, which was Impulse, Superboy, and Robin. And then later on, I think it was issue 4 or 5, they introduced like Donna Troy's Wonder Woman or Wonder Girl, and who else? Arrowette, Secret. I think Spoiler was at some point too, but it was really interesting. There should be a doomsday clock coming, I believe, maybe middle next month. It's coming though. It comes every 2 months now, so it has been a bit, but we're coming up on it. So I think it's been maybe a month since we haven't gotten one. Sending cash in. Yeah, yeah. I know it's weird. It's such a different. Everything is just such a different transaction now than it was. Even now it's like you can barely even imagine giving someone a birthday card with like money in it or whatever, or Christmas cards. Like, oh, it's got to be gift cards. It's like, I don't care if there's no Nordstroms around you. I can't put a $20 bill on a Christmas card. So, but it's fun. That's just all part of it, I guess, now. I'm excited. They're supposed to be having a Rocketeer relaunch coming soon. They said in December, and the previews just showed a shot of his helmet. So I'm looking forward to that because I love the Rocketeer. So I haven't seen the movie in forever though, since like it came out in like 1990 or whatever. And I don't know. I guess I'm revisiting a lot of those fond memories from the early 90s. They were a simpler time for me, I guess. I think, like I said, if I get back to the main root of it was, it was, when both of my parents were still alive and all that, life was just simpler when you were a kid. So I think that's a lot of my reason I gravitate towards that. Not all the Rocketeer books are, but I do have I do have a 3D Rocketeer book. This one was the 3D one, Keem. And at the time, I remember a few years prior, they had a Batman 3D book that John Byrne had drawn. That was really cool, too. But all the interiors have, like, this blurred... It's all just blurred like that. And I think Byrne actually did this one, too. Oh, no, Neil Adams did the art in this, but still... pretty cool stuff. And then there was the other adaptation, but it was its own series before all this. It didn't have a lot of issues, but it had quite a few of them, and I did get that collection a while back ago too. So once again, thanks to Half Price Books, I really recommend them, especially for finding a lot of like old out of print trades and stuff like that. The one in my area, I always find a lot of things that are forgotten about. So it's pretty cool. Let me look at chat here. Hey, Ramsey. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That's that. Yeah, I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I'm okay with Tom Holland's wisecracking and all that, but I really loved, especially the first, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and like I said, Spider-Man 2 is still one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And even in the game, they reference the train sequence in there when he tries to stop the train, and it doesn't work like it worked in the movie. It's like, that's funny, it worked last time. So I enjoyed that. Now, there's a lot of Easter eggs in that. Dick Tracy from IDW came out this week too. Really stoked. Yes, Mango. You'll appreciate my video this Saturday. Make sure to check it out. I don't want to spoil anything, but based on that comment, and not pertaining to the new series, but I'm contemplating getting that if my shop still has it. But yeah, I definitely have some fond memories of Dick Tracy too. I can totally sympathize with you on that. It's a new game worth getting, Ramsey. I would say absolutely, and Laura as well. Yes, I'd say absolutely. If you love the Arkham games, this game plays just like those games. You unlock the map. You repair police towers to unlock the full map, and then you have your icons all over the place. You do different quests. Although everything isn't unlocked right at the outset, you do a little bit of story, and then you'll do a couple side missions that will unlock more bits of the map to do more things and level up your skills, and you retrieve more unlockables, and you get more suits. There's a ton of Easter eggs in it. The major thing about the Spider-Man game that that I think is icing on the cake. It doesn't play 100% the same as Batman. A lot of the layout is very similar and things like that. But the fact that they have like the whole web shooting stuff in there, like the web swinging through the city is amazing. And when you're fighting, you can actually like if you see like a like a I don't know what it's called now, like a pallet off on the side, you can web it over, swing it around, and like knock out people with it. Eventually, you can even level up your skills to where you can web the guy's weapons, pull it out, hit him with it, and then even web up the guys and web and swing them and knock out stuff. And then you can even like web the rockets that are coming at you and throw them back at the enemies too. So they have all sorts of crazy stuff like that. So it's not just your standard punches and unlocking gizmos, but they really nailed down the webbing mechanics really well in this game, and it's very you have to be very aware because I mean I'm even used to playing the Batman games, but you can definitely get your butt kicked by a horde of goons if you're not careful pretty easily. So let me catch my chat here. You guys are talking now, which is good. I love it. I'm glad there are people in here. Sorry, guys. Is it worth it to buy PS4 to get the game? Like I said, Keem, I think there's a lot of good exclusive on PS4. If you're just buying it for that game, I don't know if I would, plunk that down just for that game. But there's a lot of other great PS4 exclusives out there too. The Uncharted series they have on there. They have the new God of War game on there. I can't think of everything they have, but there's a lot of good PS4 exclusives. So I think Spider-Man's definitely one of the many reasons you should get one. But for that game solely, I'd say, but there's a lot of good games on there. Good, I'm glad I have you curious, Mango. Yeah, Red Dead 2 will be amazing. The detective work. Yeah, and they also key in on Peter's scientific side in this game. You have, you do like science puzzles in this game. So you have to like figure out formulas for stuff. There's a portion in there where you're doing other. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there's a lot of different facets besides just the fighting element in the game. So that's definitely a part of it, and it plays very smooth. But it's more than just your standard fighting. So I don't know if you guys ever played. Whenever the first Captain America movie came out, they had a Captain America game that came out. And I thought that was a pretty good game actually, but it didn't take off huge. It was a linear game. It was more like the first Arkham game, when you're in the asylum, is like that where Cap was like in like a Nazi castle sort of situation, and that was a really cool game. There weren't a ton of unlockables and things like that. I think there are like maybe 5 different suits you could get, but it had the same like basic hand-to-hand fighting mechanics that Arkham had and stuff like that. So it is a harder game to find now, but if you're looking for a fun Captain America game, like that's a pretty good game if you haven't played it. So I do recommend that. It's definitely not as robust as Spider-Man at all, and it's on the PS3, but it's a fun game, so I do recommend that. But like I said, it's harder to find because it's been a while since it's been out. So ever play Rocket League? My story with Rocket League, actually, I'm not super familiar with it. My first interaction with it was at PAX. I want to say 2 years ago. They had a giant Reese's Puff pit that was built for adults. It looked like a giant bowl of Reese's Puff cereal. And you slid into this giant puff pit, and you're supposed to retrieve a ball. And if the ball was marked with like a number on the bottom of it, it represented a prize, and then you would have to play a game and score a point in that game to win a prize. I watched people, and you had 3 minutes to look for this ball. This was my last day at PAX 2 years ago. I had nothing else to do, so I'm like, okay, I'll just do this and try to win a prize. So I watched people fail at this game for hours and hours, like just getting in the pit and trying to find the ball. I got to my turn. I found the ball in maybe 20 seconds. And this was right after I had back surgery. So at that time, like I was surprised my back didn't go out further. and I was really worried that something was going to happen. But I found the ball in like 20 seconds. I could barely move. I was like, elevated in this pit of all these, bouncy balls that looked like Reese's Puffs. And the game was Rocket League, and I had like about 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, but I had never played the game, and I wasn't able to get a single point. And so I lost, even though I found that ball immediately, which everyone has a difficult time doing, but I just couldn't score a point on Rocket League. But and the prize for me would have been a PS4 controller, so I didn't get the prize. I did get a Reese's Puff shirt that I have no clue where it went now, and then you got a nice little orange bowl. But so that's my memory of Rocket League. Every single time I see them, just like, I can't believe I didn't get that PS4 controller because I stunk at Rocket League. So yeah, I think once I learned the controls, I would enjoy it a lot, Ramsey. All right. Well, does anyone else have any questions? We're at our hour mark here. I do this for an hour every Thursday from 7 to 8 o'clock, whatever time this is. So, oh, you're welcome, Mango. Thank you for stopping. I'm always glad you show up. So. But yeah, that's it. Every Thursday we do this. If you guys like this, this is a non-ASMR stream. But if you do like to relax and all that, I do hauls and other things. My big video is always on Saturday. So I'll do like a haul video, or I'll show off like an art book or something like that. Different things like that. And then during the week, I'll, typically do like a reading of a certain comic book, or I'll do some drawing, different things like that. But Thursdays always guaranteed for the most part, live stream like this, and then Saturdays are, my standard big video. But you all have a good day or night, and I'll see you next Thursday. And don't forget to check out the haul video on Saturday. Go check out the Bull on Indiegogo. Links in the description. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hello.
Hold on.